Many people are under the impression that the Quran was sent down 1400 years ago, and everything that was said in it has already been proven by modern science. However, they couldn't be further from the truth. Today, we will look at 3 topics which modern science is only now discovering to be true. And all these topics were discussed in the Quran 1400 years ago. But before we start, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Number 1. The expansion of the universe. For centuries, scientists believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everything revolved around it. This all changed when Nicolaus Copernicus published his book called De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium in 1543. In this book, he stated that the Sun, not the Earth, is the center of the solar system. This discovery sparked the scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries, which led to our current understanding of the universe. However, what many people do not know is that the concept of an expanding universe was first mentioned in the Quran more than 100 years before Copernicus published his groundbreaking book. Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 44 says, "Do not the disbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were joined together as a single entity before we split them apart? And indeed, there are signs in the splitting of the continents, in the motion of the living creatures therein, and in the very structure of the heavens." It goes on to say in Surah Ad-Duha, verse 29, "And the heaven, we have indeed expanded it, and adorned it with the stars, and made it a source of knowledge and wonder for mankind." These verses indicate that the universe had a beginning and is continuously expanding. This idea is also supported by other verses in the Quran, such as those in Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 86, where it talks about how Allah created the heavens with expansion, not just for the sake of expansion, but for a deeper purpose. Verse 86 reads, "Say, have you considered if the course of humanity were to change, and your gods became powerful enough to create other universes, or expand the existing one? Would they not have more right to worship them?" So in the light of the Quranic verses, it seems clear that the concept of an expanding universe was well understood 1400 years ago. Scientists like Albert Einstein and George Lemaitre later developed the theory of the Big Bang, which describes the origin of the universe as an initial singularity followed by an expansion. While their theories were revolutionary, it is important to acknowledge that the Quran had already presented the concept of an expanding universe long before. This shows that the Quran is not just a religious text, but a source of scientific knowledge as well. It also highlights the importance of studying the Quran with an open mind and considering its potential insights into various fields of knowledge, including science. Number 2, the origin of life. For a long time, humans didn't know much about the origin of life. They had various beliefs and theories, but concrete evidence was lacking. This all changed in 1953 when Stanley Miller and Harold Urey conducted a famous experiment attempting to simulate conditions on early Earth. Their goal was to see if amino acids, the building blocks of life, could form spontaneously under these conditions. And guess what? They found that they could. This discovery provided valuable insights into the complex molecules necessary for life. But did you know that the Quran talks about the origin of life in Surah Al-Qiyamah, Ayah 47? It says, "O humanity, if you are doubtful about the resurrection, consider the fact that you originated from a small entity. Then Allah placed the soul into you and caused you to grow until you became fully formed." This verse indicates that humans developed from a simple beginning and evolved into the complex beings that we are today. What's even more amazing is that this concept is echoed in modern evolutionary theory, which suggests that all life on Earth shares a common ancestor and has evolved over millions of years through natural processes. Both the Quranic verse and evolutionary theory highlight the interconnectedness of all living things and provide a framework for understanding the diversity of life on Earth. Additionally, recent discoveries in genetics and molecular biology have shed more light on the mechanisms of inheritance and the genetic code that governs the development of living organisms. These findings have deepened our understanding of the origin of life and have confirmed what was stated in the Quran 1400 years ago. It is incredible to think that such a significant insight into the origin of life was recorded in the Quran long before scientific discoveries provided further evidence for it. Number 3. The shape of the earth. Before the age of exploration and scientific inquiry, most people believed that the earth was flat. This belief was reinforced by religious teachings and folklore. However, with advancements in science and technology, our understanding of the shape of the earth evolved, and we learned that it is actually a sphere. But did you know that the Quran provides an early description of the earth's spherical shape? In Surah Az-Zariyat, Ayah 12, it says, "And the earth, we have spread it as a carpet and placed on it cities, hamlets and springs of water, fruits and plants, each of different colors. So give thanks to God, who is the best of providers." When you read this verse, it paints a picture of the earth as a vast expanse that is spread out like a carpet. This imagery suggests a spherical shape rather than a flat one. Furthermore, the word spread implies that the earth is curved and has a finite surface area. This aligns with the scientific understanding of the earth as a globe that is suspended in space. Another verse in Surah Nur, Ayah 4, supports this view. It says, "He who has created death and life and has subjected the earth to the heavens, so that the earth cannot escape." If the earth were flat, it wouldn't be possible for it to be subjected to the heavens in a meaningful way. However, if the earth were a sphere, then it could be seen as being suspended within the larger celestial bodies, just like a marble would be held within the palm of a hand. These verses provide an early description of the earth's S-shape and suggest that the people who lived during the time of the Prophet Muhammad had a sophisticated understanding of the natural world. It is important to note that these Quranic verses were revealed in a time when the prevailing belief was that the earth was flat. The fact that the Quran presents a different perspective challenges the notion that the Prophet Muhammad was ignorant about the world around him and instead suggests that he had access to knowledge that was not available to his contemporaries. It's worth mentioning that other cultures also had varying beliefs about the shape of the earth throughout history. Some cultures believed that the earth was flat, while others, such as the ancient Greeks, believed that the earth was a sphere. However, it wasn't until the Middle Ages that the scientific study of geography and astronomy led to a more widespread acceptance of the spherical Earth model. With the advent of modern technology, such as satellites and space travel, our understanding of the shape of the Earth has become even more precise. We now know that the Earth is an oblate spheroid, meaning that it is slightly wider at the equator than at the poles. Despite these advancements, the Quranic description of the Earth as a sphere remains an impressive testament to the scientific knowledge available to early Muslims. Overall, these are just a few examples of the many ways that the Quran has provided insights into the natural world. It's important to approach religious texts with an open mind and consider their potential contributions to various fields of knowledge. While some may disagree with certain aspects of the Quran, it's also possible to appreciate its historical and cultural significance, as well as its potential scientific value. Ultimately, fostering dialogue and understanding between different cultures and religions can help break down barriers and promote peace and harmony in our world.